Hey guys, I'm learning TFT. In this video, I'm going to go through a VOD review where Marcel leads a VOD review of a Rainplosion VOD, and Rain actually sits in on the VOD review for parts of it, where we go over her game from the Tactician's Cup. She performed very well in the tournament. She got 9th overall. Marcel actually got 12th overall, so this was in the last Tacticians Cup of all of the Americas. So two of the top, 15 players doing a VOD review together, and both of them made the regional qualifiers. So this is the tournament, the top, I believe, 32 players that get to compete to play at the World's TFT tournament. Rainplosion got 3rd in qualifier points, 1 behind Dish Soap. And Marcel also at 116 qualifier points, tied with Soju. So we have some very high-level players that are going to, in this VOD review, do a deep dive into one of Rain's VODs. I want to share a part of the video just to give you a teaser for the meta mindset of the day, which is about mistakes. So here's a clip of Rain kind of giving a little intro about this game to Marcel.
Marcel, is this like day 2 VODs or day 1 VODs?
This one is day 2, game 4. 1-1-1. I just picked a random game that I hadn't watched because I already watched.
So she had first place to start day 2 here.
I think you're
good. Oh, okay. I think this was my worst game day 2, but I mean I don't think it's like horrible, but I definitely think I make some itemization mistakes like later on.
Okay, I think
even better games
I was gonna say that could be interesting, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure your worst game is still a very good game given how you played the whole tournament. But yeah, I'm still down to go through it. But
also, after going 1-1-1, I kind of like so I never stopped like trying to play like some other people do, but like after going 1-1-1, I kind of locked out of hits because
so this is like you're less in this. Okay, sure, that's fair. Yeah. I think at this point we're already invested. I'm obviously going, but yeah, I think it's still very useful to have that context.
I still think it's like fair and that reflects what I think about how to play like soaps, but I definitely did make some mistakes I'm not proud of.
All right, so she said, this is my worst game of the day. I made some mistakes I'm not proud of. But with this, I want to use this as a reminder that Rain is consistently one of the top players in NA. She's consistently top 20 in the rankings, and she plays significantly less than other players. I believe she has a full-time job, if I'm not mistaken. And so it just goes into the mentality and the mindset. If you want to get better at the game, you want to really embrace those mistakes and figure out what you can learn from them instead of shying away from them. So that's going to be our meta mindset of the day. Before I dive into that, I'll talk a little bit about my key takeaways. Of course, the whole VOD review is extremely detailed and informative. So these are just some highlights. So I will also include timestamps in the description below if you want to jump straight to the VOD review itself with Marcel and Rain. But a key idea is on the 3-7 minion round, if you're going to do an early 4-1 roll down, it can actually be useful to clump the units, the shitter units, the trait bots that are actually going to go off your board if you're playing a fast 8 strategy. You clump them on one side so that right after 3-7, you can instant open sell them, which makes your 4-1 roll down a lot easier. Another thing that Rain does very diligently is on the minion rounds, she actively scouts the whole lobby to see what lines the opponents are angling toward, because during the minion round, there's not as much action that you need to be taking. And so that's the perfect opportunity to use that time to scout what augments other players have, what items they have slammed, what units they're holding, both on their board and on their bench. And that way you can see how contested you are and how what your opponents are playing might change, how it might change your game plan. Another strategic element that Rain mentioned is that Dumbify on 3-2 or Golemify. Either of these augments are a great way to pivot out of a contested line. So if you're playing towards, let's say, sorcerers, but you're seeing in the lobby that's 3 or 4 way contested, and you're not necessarily in the best top 1 or 2 spots in that contest, that's a very effective way of pivoting out of that line. And Marcel in our last coaching session mentioned that Dumbify is particularly good with scaling items. So Archangel, Rageblade, good with scaling traits. So like Dominators, especially with the new patch, it's going to be dominators are probably going to be a good amount stronger, so that can be a line that you can consider. And then considering backup 4-cost units on your roll down that can hold your item. So let's say for a sorcerer's roll down, you can actually hold on to echoes, and if you hit an echo too, and since you're already playing a Swain, then you can hold a GP for Form Swapper for your front line, and then that echo with the scrap can be a very cost-effective way to help save you HP until you're able to hit your sorcerer units later on in stage 4. So those are kind of the key takeaways. I do also want to mention that this VOD review is on the previous patch, so 13.5, so not in the new patch, but it's still, they still cover a lot of really useful fundamental approaches to the game. So that's just one kind of context to keep in mind. So diving into the meta mindset of the day on mistakes, this image kind of captures a lot of the ideas I have here. Goethe said, by seeking and blundering, we learn. So like kind of the inverse idea there is if you want to get hard stuck, play safe and don't experiment. But instead, if you do want to learn and climb, you really have to start thinking about LP not as the primary goal. Losing LP isn't a failure, it's an investment, or you can kind of think of it as tuition that will help you improve and climb later. The philosopher, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. Okay, I'm going to make mistakes, so all right, I'll do what I say. So La Rochefoucauld said, a man who is never foolish is not as wise as he thinks. So you want to take risks with high upside, and foolishness is often just courage with imperfect information. And as you get more information by taking risks, experimenting, you collect more information, right? And so as you practice that courage, the foolishness is actually the thing that the wise people do to be able to unravel more useful information. So it's almost like you're fishing for gold, like you're a 49er in the gold rush, right? And so if you don't ever try to experiment, you're not going to find the gold. Nassim Taleb said, the process of discovery or innovation or technological progress itself depends on anti-fragile tinkering, aggressive risk-bearing rather than formal education. So if you're always following the crowd on what everyone else is doing, you can't really beat the rest of the crowd. So if all you're doing is following guides, what other people are saying is good, then it's unlikely that you're going to be able to beat other people. So the top players are really experimenting aggressively before others so that when they enter a tournament, they're one step ahead of the curve, which again means that you really have to be tinkering, taking on risk instead of just consuming what other people are doing. Of course, consuming what other people are doing is extremely helpful, but if you want to be on the cutting edge, in TFT or in life, taking on some of that risk yourself can be really helpful. So how do you innovate? First, try to get in trouble. I mean, serious, but not terminal trouble. So put yourself intentionally into difficult situations. Dish Soap actually talked about this on stream where I believe he had Salvage Bin plus a massive, I think, scrap 4-2 roll down. And I think that was on 3-2 that he picked Salvage Bin. And he even said on stream, like, this is going to make my 4-2 extremely hard, but I'm going to do it because it's hard and I need the practice. So another thing that Rain actually does in this VOD review here is that she does a partial attempt at a massive pivot away from Sorks into Scrap in her stage 4 roll down. So that's also something that you can experiment with. Meister Eckhart said, no hardship and loss is without some gain, and there's no harm which is wholly negative. So every lost game contains lessons unless you ignore those opportunities for learning. LP isn't the goal, skill is, and if you improve your skill, your LP will follow. And so one way to approach this so that you don't view your losses as pure losses is after every time you get a bot 4, write down at least one thing that you learned. Opportunities for growth open when we let go of our need to be right. So when you want to be right all the time, when you want to always get top 4s or win, That's really playing around your ego. And whenever you have a high ego when it comes to a game like TFT or in life, it really destroys your ability to learn. If you think that you're the best or you're an expert at the game, you close yourself off to opportunities to receive feedback and to grow. This is why you see on stream the best players are always talking about how they suck, how other people suck, and there's this basic assumption that they're often making mistakes and can make better mistakes. And so when you're reviewing your own games, it can be helpful to assume that you made mistakes, especially if you're like under, I would say if you're under like challenger level, and even if you're challenger level, for sure if you're under like master level, or even GM level, like, and this is just as true for myself, instead of blaming Mortdog or like the game to say like, oh, like I low rolled or like the game balance sucks, like that's really not going to help you grow and learn and climb. If you start with the assumption that you're wrong and that you made mistakes, that will help you improve significantly more than externalizing your blame. So always be open to changing your mind. That covers our meta mindset of the day on mistakes. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video up until this point. Please let me know your thoughts, comments, questions in the description below. And from here on out, I'm going to play the VOD review where Marcel leads the Rainplosion VOD review. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one and enjoy this video.
Okay, so portal here is Powder Monkey portal. Do people have thoughts on like what comps you try to lean towards or lean away from, or just any thoughts in general on the Powder Monkey portal?
To be honest, I mostly just play it pretty normal. I don't really diverge much on it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no worries. I only recently have started drawing like stronger like preferences and what comps to play with this portal. I've heard a couple really good players state they believe reroll is better, and I tend to agree. The reason being, can anyone name the outcomes for Powder? Oh, let's not do quiz style. That's more useless. Okay, so for Powder portal, you can get I think it's 25% odds of minus 10 HP, 25% odds radiant item, 25% odds gold, 25% odds a bunch of items, if I'm not mistaken. And all of those do better for a line where you are rolling earlier. For reroll lines, more so reroll lines. So the minus 10 HP is better if you save HP earlier, because the more you play like way from behind, the minus 10 HP is really going to screw you because you start to dip towards one life. So that's one reason why like a loss streak into a fast 8 style gameplay can be a little riskier in the 25% outcome. 25% outcome of a radiant item tends to favor comps that put a lot of resources into 1 or 2 units, which obviously is the case when you're lower level because you are filtering in like more of your gold resources into a lower percentage of your units. So buffing them up with the radiant item is more useful. That's second. And then more items also tends to I mean, it's good for scrap, for example, and many other fast 8 lines, like for example, 80 emissaries also likes a lot of resources. But in general, when you reroll, it's not an every reroll comp, but if you're rerolling multiple units, which is a lot of reroll comps, you will have a lot of base stats on your units. For example, in Visionary, you'll have like 1 3-star Vex, 3-star Morgana, 3-star Rel, 3-star Singe, 3-star Renata, like in some games, right? Not every game, but in some games. And so itemizing as many of them as you can really spikes you more than someone who has a bunch of trait bots on their team, where they can't really do much of these items. The gold probably favors fast 8 comps more. It just depends on the specific line. But yeah, 3 out of the 4 tends to value reroll. So that's just something to consider. And just make sure like in your games with very particular portals, you're trying to angle towards lines that are better for those portals, and at least consider that in your thought process. It'd be a big mistake to not, or you're losing out on placements if you're not doing that. Okay. Rain is scouting as early as 1-2 for I don't know if I do that, but I check Academy on 1-2. This is very useful, and this is more useful in like a 1 cost reroll meta where you already can get reads and like, okay, this person's gonna angle family, for example. Okay. There's a unit holds. These units are both S tier holds in this patch, Zyra and Darius. I don't think that's too complicated for most people to know. She's scouting on 1-3, probably mostly to see like what orb drops and holds people are. Sometimes like scouting on stage 1 can help inform you on what units you want to then hold yourself. Let's say I scout on stage 1 and I see 3 people of Urgot and Tristana on their bench for as a rare example. Then you're less likely to want to hold the Urgot in your shop. Maybe. You probably hold this Vex pair. I mean, this is not too. You probably sell powder for Vex, and then maybe unclear what the next hold is. Probably doesn't matter as much. I would probably sell this and hold Irelia because you have Rebel right with Vex. So sell this, hold Vex. So your Vex pair, Zyra pair, Darius pair. Sell Trundle, hold Irelia. Looks like she prefers Maddie. Not really sure why, but probably it's a different read on like stage 1 holds than I did.
Is it never like play Maddie 2 with Zeri here?
So if we're gonna level, that board can be strong. It just depends on whether you want to play to level here. Typically, if you're not leveling, playing 2 backline units, unless you have an upgraded unit, is not that strong because your frontline will die in 1 second, and then your board's pretty weak. Usually, like what happens if you are 3 units, your strongest board is gonna be like whatever your item is. Let's say you're a backline item, then you want to play 2 frontline units. If you're a frontline item, then usually you'll want to play 2 backline units just to like balance your board, right? So it just depends here, but it could be. So now that we hit a bow, I'm a little more inclined to hold this pair. You probably sell these, hold this, right? Still hard to say if we're gonna angle. Like here, probably if you're trying to play strongest, you just let Last Whisper, and then you can play towards like scrap from ahead. Is probably the most obvious line to try to play, or Enforcer with like making backline items first. You don't have other Enforcers though, but not super clear yet what the direction is. But I mean, it's super nice to see we have an upgrade already, and probably Zeri pair hold here. It's hard to say we're angling Zeri here because you need a lot of rods for that.
You have no rods, yeah.
Yeah, you need a fuck ton of rods. Okay. Thoughts on these?
Roll first too. Like, isn't table scrap like gig OP right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking as soon as I see this. Did anyone like not have that thought? And if so, if you did not immediately think that, that's fine. I think the easiest way to recognize when augments are super broken like that is to look at the next patch notes because they announced they're nerfing table scraps.
No,
So
but it's also like 4 components compared to like
yeah,
other things. And
yeah. Like if you just
how-
think of the value logically, you will come to that conclusion, especially because the 4th one is a full item.
Mhm.
But even if you don't do that, you can cheat by just looking at the patch notes, assuming that's already out. By the time you want to do that. Patience is a virtue. If you had a 2-star frontline already, is an interesting pick. It gives you so many rolls, and so you could consider this if you already hit the Darius too. You just want to be strong stage 2, sack stage 3, and force scrap. But you have to have good reason to do that. Like it'd have to be like you look at the lobby, scrap looks super high EV. Yeah, item grab bag. If you had a 2-star frontline and you really felt like you could streak, you could maybe consider this, but unlikely. Because what if you get an AP item? She doesn't see how quickly she doesn't even scout. Yeah, because it's such an insta take. I'm surprised she didn't roll the first one. I wonder what because I've heard of I guess with silver it's less important, but I've heard on like higher tiers people arguing in both directions of like you should save augments that you want to see in future shops or future augment shops versus I'm kind of glossing over slams here, but if we're committed to playing AP here, which I think is given you have a Zyra too, which is one of the best units, early units, and even like mid game units in the game right now, you're much more likely to want to play around this than you want to play around like these units, right? You have just as many pairs for either line to be better. In fact, I would say Watcher is typically better for Stork, and so that's why we're playing around Zyra and not Maddie. Sorks being S tier, and then as far as slams go, open bow is much easier to play around, right? If you go Nasher is like the other more obvious other obvious slam potential here. Open glove is, it's not awful, but open bow can get you shred, can get you sunfire. I mean, burn effect can get you. You can even make a rage blade if you really, really wanted to. You can make like so many makes with bow that you're not unhappy with. Yeah, so far it's pretty straightforward, I would say. Do we level here? Is another question. You probably level for another Darius. You could level for you could level for Maddie. You could also level for this. Level here or no level? Anyone thoughts?
I wouldn't level. I think like we're strong enough. I mean, I think a scout would be needed, but yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. A scout where like you feel like the lobby's kind of weak. Fuck it, let me like opportunistically try to streak. I think I would like that. I probably would try to level if I saw that like the lobby's a little on the weaker side. I think I'm more inclined to want to level here than not, because as soon as you hit any 2-star front line, which you have potential with this Darius, or like you hit a high cost good tank, then I feel like we have potential to have like a 4-win stage 2. So I feel like I like angling to level when I have good item slam, good open component. Good open component is very important, right? Because this means you're not like dying to get a particular component on a carousel, right? Like let's say for example our open component here was sword. Let's say our slam was like JG with open sword. Not that I'm saying that would be like the best slam, but let's just say that was. You're dying for tier, yeah, for her like your Shojin, and so then you really don't mind being weak. That way you get your prio here. Here we're not desperate to be weak. We're not desperate for a component, so I'm a little more inclined to level. That doesn't mean we level, but just like some factors that you should be considering. No scout, what a beast. I mean, I also don't mind default level here, just because as I was saying already, I'm inclined to want to level in this spot. And it's a 2-star unit. Like just sitting on a 2-star unit on your bench also just feels a little bad, right? Like you're clearly like not using full potential of all your gold. Even though Maddie like doesn't truly like fit the board in a lot of ways, like it's a 2-star unit. Also notice, and I've been doing this a lot more since I think this set. I don't know why this set in particular. I don't think it's anything to do with this set. I've been doing positioning like this a lot more. Where you basically really try to prio your most important unit to die last, even amongst your ranged backliners. When the fight is really close, this tends to matter less because your units will walk up together, and in fact sometimes it can even be annoying where this unit blocks the pathing of this unit. But when you are losing a fight, it's really important because this allows your Zyra, your Maddie to tank for your Zyra. Yeah, assuming your Maddie, let's say this Maddie is 1k HP. It's as if you added a Warmogs onto your Zyra. If in the alternative case, let's say Maddie was here, y'all can see my mouse, right?
Yep.
I assume so.
Yeah.
If the Maddie was here and your opponent backliner is here and they aggro the Zyra first, then your last unit to die is Maddie, which means your guard breaker is getting a lot less value over the course of the fight, right? So this is actually like very not it's not a small thing by any means to try to like organize even your backliners to like, add more HP to your most important unit, your most important items. Probably win this. No item unless they slam an item. Yep. Okay, this is 100% level diff. Yeah, you obviously never win this if not for the level. Let me just see if there's any decision here that we're making. Positioning wise, I assume nothing too insane. The reason why you'll want Darius here is just because it's a wrap unit. You want frontline units to wrap around. If you were concerned Darius would not cast, like you want to get one cast out of this Darius because it's a Darius 1. There are potentially some concerns it doesn't cast. That probably is more like very matchup dependent on stage 2. That you could try to put like a Vlad up next with it to guarantee to have higher odds of first cast. But Yeah, looks like we're not going to go for that. I mean, she's positioning very actively, but yeah, again, as you'll see, looks like she's positioning for very specific players, right? Obviously because she's on the upper end of the HP pool and just trying to position well versus players that could ruin her streak, which likely this player will. I mean, you're Vlad. They're Vlad to 2 items. So it's interesting to me in that she hasn't. I guess because she had a Zyra too, she hasn't really like done a. She hasn't felt like she had to put too much work into like deciding her line by looking at other players, right? To be fair, Guardbreaker is very flexible here, but like she's already like, I assume likely like really wanted to play on Sorks. Table scraps is a good augment for that. I'm just speaking out loud in terms of like what I'd be thinking here in terms of, okay, we don't listen look like we've scouted so much that we know what most people are angling at this point, but likely it's not as important at this stage of the game, right? Because we're not coming up with any crucial decision. Maybe before carousel, it'd be quite nice to know, but Draven here would be just mostly to try to start stacking some gold. Yeah, like here we start to see like what the lobby's angling. So we see. Sorry, let's do a brief scout. She's looking at matchups, but like we get the fair idea here on like what people are playing.
Yeah, she moves faster than I can see what people are playing, but
Yeah, no, I'll pause. No worries, I'll pause. You're saying like if as she's doing this, is she? It's hard to say if she's truly like looking at what people are playing as she's doing this. We'll do it as if she is, but it could just be she's doing it for positioning, right? Like maybe this person's trying to wrap her back line, and so she's probably just doing that. Because if you look at who she's scouting, it's probably people that are in her pool. The more you scout people that are in your pool, the more that it's indicative you're just looking at positioning. The more you're scouting like people not in your pool, it's more indicative you're probably thinking of what they're trying to play, right? This is either scrap or enforcer, very likely. You could smeech from here, but it's unlikely.
it's a
I would
good
guess.
Smeech item.
What's up?
Good items, good for Smeech, I guess. But
I would say the open rod is a little. It's good item for Smeech, but Smeech is like more so like you already have the Smeech, you already have Cambaron early because the tempo you play with Smeech is kind of particular. You are quite weak early and mid stage 4, and so you want to have reason to play into it. Like
And with
you have early-
over-encumbered, this seems like a scrap angle for JD.
Yeah, exactly. I think over encumbered also makes it more likely you want to play scrap. Also, Powder Monkey can give you items, right, and gold, both of which are really good for scrap. Rod is also better for scrap. Right? Like if you're thinking of components here, like just components, not even this. This is already like much. I would say I'm much happier playing scrap with this than Smeech, just because this rod is dead for a long time.
Which
Smeech,
also for Rain's position, it seems like table scraps would also be good for scrap, and she's holding the trundles and the powder, which after scouting JD may lean more away from that.
Yeah, I like that thought process for sure. Guardbreaker can definitely go into scrap still. I will say the next slam is probably hard to make if you are playing scrap, but I mean you could make a Shiv, I guess. Shiv's not a high prio item in scrap though, but because you're gonna want to slam a strong item onto Zyra, that item is almost never gonna align with a scrap comp with a bow, because it's gonna be a backline AP item, right? That's my main issue with playing towards scrap. Here, unclear what this person is playing. I guess they took item grab back, so very likely to Storks, right? Actually, it's pretty. I would assume they're really trying to play Storks here with their board. Renata.
Marcel, is this like day 2 VODs or day 1 VODs?
This one is day 2, game 4. 1-1-1. I just picked a random game that I hadn't watched because I already watched a lot of your. I think your game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think this was my worst played game day 2, but I mean I don't think it's like horrible, but I definitely think I make some itemization mistakes like later on.
Okay, I think that
Even
I'm
better
still
game
down
to
watch.
review.
I still feel
I
like you
was gonna
played.
say that could be interesting, right?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure your worst played game is still a very good game, given how you played the whole tournament. But yeah, I'm still down to go through it. But I appreciate.
Also, I will say a little bit after going 1-1-1, I kind of like I mean, so I never stopped like trying to play like some other people do, but like after going 1-1-1, I kind of locked out of it because
Okay, so this is
my
like your
placements didn't matter unless
okay.
I win 8-8.
You're focused less in this. Okay, sure, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think at this point we're already invested, so I'll just keep going. But yeah, I think it's still very useful to have that context.
I don't know. I still think it's like fair and it reflects what I think about how to play like Souls, but I definitely did make some mistakes I'm not proud of.
Okay, appreciate the context, and we won't be as judgy as we otherwise would
Rain,
if this is your
I was
one.
No, you
recording
can be.
this.
Like,
Do you
I
want me
think
to
you could
not
try to.
publish this?
Oh, you can publish it. It's fine. Like I don't really care. Like I make mistakes. Like if you ever look at my game, like my day one, I made so many horrific mistakes. Like it's actually like one of the worst like, tournament days I've ever had. I still made it through, thankfully, but um, yeah. I mean, like I make mistakes like just like everyone else, and like we all have our bad days, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
important to recognize
everybody's
that.
gonna make mistakes, right? Even people who are
Yeah.
really good. So I think it's a good thing to review.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that Rain is coming here saying that. I think a lot of the top players, even in this very tournament, like Dishop was saying he didn't feel like he was in form, who won the freaking tournament with so many points. So I would say if you feel like you're making a lot of mistakes, I mean, I mean, all these top tournament players are also doing the same. So it's just a matter of who stays in the best mental and makes the fewest impactful ones, right? Yeah, it looks like it's angling up to be like at least a 2-way, maybe 3-way sword contest. So it'll be interesting to still see like if that changes anything about our the way we approach this game, or like when we roll and whatnot, what augments you try to take. Okay, I won't watch this fight too much. I mean, let's just see what component we try to take here. I don't imagine as you're saying from 2-1 that we're like dying to have a particular component. There's so many that could work. So more than likely, we're just thinking of like high cost or a particular unit, right? Like a Swain here would be really nice. Nami, Swain would be really nice. You can start stacking Conquer without feeling too bad. I wonder why she's looking at Flames. Just like curious to see. I assume Flames just goes for 3 cost here. Yeah. So then
Wait, no, I look at flames because I'm about to hard flame him. Or
because
taking
of
3
what?
cost here. I'm about to hard flame for taking 3 cost here. Well, look at his augment.
Yeah,
and
that's
look
what
at
I
the
would
cost
want is
here.
3 cost tier for sure.
Yeah.
I got completely griefed this game. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is the moment I didn't go first this game. Okay, if I went first this game, I might have gone like 1-1-1-1 the whole tournament. But this game I didn't go first, so I just gave up the last 2 games.
1-1-1-1-1-1. Meanwhile, I have 0 first this tournament. Yeah, I mean, so now that we don't have 3 cost here, what's next? So, like 2 options. We're open bow, right? 3 cost Nasher or 2 cost red buff, right? Are probably most enticing. One of these two. I've heard people sour more and more on Nasher as like an early slam or as like in general as an item. But I mean, it's a 3 cost belt. I feel like I don't know if it's super wrong.
I think Masters is fairly untakeable actually. Yeah, so also like I have table scraps, right? Just making that clear. Or like what's my augment again?
You have
Yeah,
table scraps. Yeah.
table scraps.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I think it's also if you scout the lobby appropriately, it's also it's also fine if you think you can grab one component per stone plate and make the other one. It's something I thought about, but like I thought it was a little too like if I was actually higher pick, I would oftentimes try to like finish a full stone plate from this carousel. Just like look at what component the other person doesn't want. But yeah,
Like that brings
but
up a
it's
good
kind of hard
point.
when you're just low on the pick order.
I think it's a lot easier to do that when you're looking for like when you're like trying to get a very particular component and you like the whole concept of scouting to see what people will want to know what you are likely to have. Unlike, for example, 2-2 and 2-3. Like you can consider sacking those rounds if you desperately need a component and you see that someone who's 1 HP below you really wants that component as well. In this case, Rain's talking about almost the opposite, where like what do these people above you want? It's a little harder, but I mean you can go through that effort. And then that'll allow you to know more than likely, not more than likely, but like with higher odds, what is likely to be left over, and then you can complete an item. It sounds like, which I think I was not in tune with, Rain is considering Stoneplate as like a really good slam for this sort line. And so I assume on on Darius, Stoneplate is insane. Are you happier playing towards non is rain. Oh, it looks like a rain dropped. Okay, I assume she's happier playing towards like Swain frontline than Garen when you're stone plate. Like that variation of Stork, just because stone plate is not amazing on Garen, but it's more so an early game slam.
Do we know the order of operations for table scraps? Because is it the higher cost unit that you
I
get?
believe it's higher
guaranteed?
cost. Yeah, I believe it's higher cost, and that's the only logic. I don't know.
I think it's the same unit that you would get if you didn't pick anything. Like, let's say you
Yeah.
could pick again and couldn't pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is more logic than that. It is possible that there's some hidden logic, like it's by alphabetical order, the you know the unit that of the highest cost, or is it? I don't know. Or is it like positioning
I thought it was highest cost. It's not.
highest cost?
Wait, really?
But then how do you tiebreak across multiple?
It's definitely not highest cost. I don't know what the tiebreak is because I've only taken table scraps twice,
Oh, it's definitely
and
not.
I assume it's definitely not always highest cost.
Oh, it takes. I didn't realize that it takes lower cost sometimes.
So
Okay.
pure random.
potentially. Pure random.
I'm not sure.
Definitely higher-
I don't know what it is, but it's not highest cost.
Okay.
I thought it would be because when you AFK at the end of a carousel, you actually automatically take highest cost.
Yeah.
But table scraps does not actually give you the highest cost unit, which becomes relevant sometimes on 5-5 if people have died.
It can also give you emblems on 5-5. Like it doesn't prio non-emblems or anything. In case you're hoping that it would, it doesn't prio anything emblem versus non. So we go for a red buff here. But yeah, let's see what leftover component we get. Yeah, so here we get a 2-cost cloak. We can just see here what is left over, right? In case well, I guess it was a cloak, so yeah. Okay. Do we level here or not level? We're on a 2 loss. Or
I think
most
no.
impactful in is probably what? Like
Also lean towards no since we want Darius 2 and we're on 2
Yeah.
loss.
yeah, Darius 2, it helps like odds for Darius 2. We're on 2 loss. The level would probably be hard to say what's bad. Like if you're gonna slam an item, I guess you could go like Rennie Trundle, have more frontline is one direction, but like we're also not that weak, so I'm not that opposed to like a level here, but it depends on the rest of the pool, right? A lot of it too is like if you see that there are people that if these people are super weak and these people are level diff, I feel like I don't mind also leveling into a win-win. Because like if you're gonna not stay low level and you're gonna go win-loss, for example, then I think it's not
What do you
awful.
think about waiting one? Like, see how this fight plays out, and then decide. Like on
I don't mind
first
that either,
match.
but I think a lot of that you can kind of figure out if depending on these, right? If you wait one and you go loss win, let's say you wait one, you didn't scout, then you beat one or win loss. I feel like you could try to optimize just for going for a 0-2 win here. Yeah, I assume Rain's just like my board is not piss weak. I mean, it's not like 80th, 90th percentile in strength, but it's not piss weak. Like she also gets gold back, right, by doing this. I mean, she could have played the Draven, I guess, without playing the second Darius, but she still makes 20.
Yeah. I didn't see the 20, but I think like once she makes 20, I think it's like
Yeah,
it's
you'd be
looking
trying to
good.
make 30 next round if you didn't level, right? Is the like would be the logic there, but okay. It's a better unit. Positioning Rennie to CC, try to CC a particular unit can be very good, right? Rennie CC is actually pretty good. This unit is going to be really good next patch, with a really big buff to the 1-star. I mean, definitely level diff here, right? Okay. Let's just see if anything has changed. So she's doing looks like a thorough-ish scout on 2-7, which I think is good timing, right? Like Like when like it's some downtime over PvE to see like what the people are all angling. Is this Twitch? What is this? Or Zeri? Or unclear at the moment.
It's a component buffet, so I mean, I would lean towards Zeri probably. I think.
Yeah, it's just that they don't have any of the units for Zeri, right? It's the thing. So like, yeah, they're holding this, I guess, the Loris, but hard to say at the moment.
Unless they're playing the Watcher
They've got
frontline.
two Watchers, right? They could be playing the Watcher
Zeri
variation.
Watcher. From what I know, that variant is not as desirable. If anything, I would guess if it is real. Actually, I would guess it is more Tristana? Question mark. Are they holding an Urgot? They were, right?
They did have an Urgot, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's probably one of those two. Is my best guess. I don't think people are just randomly playing Twitch. Although, yeah, I mean, it's possible some people are, but I don't know. I think most of the people in the final day were not. Still probably Scrap, Cam, probably Sorks. Yeah, she's doing a pretty thorough scout now, right? Compared to the previous scouts. This person is definitely. I don't know. I guess they're Leona, right? They're probably. They could be Zeri. They're more than likely Zeri with Rod here. They did level though, so usually you stay low level if you're Zeri. So you can't say for sure either.
Oh, they didn't slam the Rage Blade either. I mean, I'm assuming they got the component earlier, right?
Yeah,
the
probably
Rod.
they're considering it, but yeah, it didn't slam.
Yeah.
This one's Scrap. Look at their board, and Augment. Sork. So this is like at least three, probably three base Sork. Yeah, Jade. I think it was Cam, David, Rain. Flames is the Renata player. Okay. Like we have a strong augment, right? So we're if we hit slightly less than the other Sork players, it's not too concerning because our augment will be up a couple, like a full item by the end of the game with this augment, which is like a pretty good advantage here. Okay, what is strongest board here? So as an exercise for all of us, you have a Swain and Shop. You have certain slams and Draven.
I mean, do you play 4 conk here?
I
With
think
the
it's
upgraded
4
Draven?
Kong.
Yeah, I think 4 Kong, and then what configuration of units?
And
Like
then
where would you put what and what slams?
I
frontline
would probably,
Swain?
yeah, I would probably play frontline Swain and then have Zeri, Draven as a backline.
I would have
Um,
the Zyra Draven backline with the Rel Darius Swain frontline.
I think I do the same. Yeah, and then
Gargoyles.
I probably Stoneplate Swain.
Wait, did I say Zeri? I mean, I meant Zyra, obviously. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like jamming a level here is a little hard, but
I think given that you're on 2 streak and you have 4 Conqueror, you just want to guarantee you get kills and you can make it up with the Conqueror stat gold if you level.
to jam a level. The thing is, you'll get the gold anyway, right? Like, it feels a little early to be jamming levels here in terms of just a 2 streak. But I mean, it could be wrong. Maybe she just goes for it anyway. I'd probably scout if I wanted to do that. A little surprised we're not doing the frontline Swain here, but
I think jamming levels is fine. I think not filling the Swain is not fine. I think that's like a huge mistake that I was like not processing. But
not doing gargoyle Swain. You said instead of
yeah.
Oh gosh, I got.
But I think leveling in general is fine because I think I can. If you start the stage with 4 conk, you can actually reasonably reach either the 100 or 150 cash out.
Gotcha,
like a
gotcha.
reasonable time
So if you're
from the
able to
start.
makes sense. If you're able
If
to
I
slow
actually
down,
like,
yeah, gotcha.
but yeah, I mean, obviously, like you scout to see if it makes a diff.
But yeah, I mean, Swain's Stoneplate is actually so insanely strong. I mean, as people probably already know, they are not nerfing frontline Swain, right? Just backline next patch, so it'll still be strong. Okay.
In hindsight, there it seemed like I don't know if frontline Swain itself would have been a diff, but it seems like level for sure would have been a diff, and
Yeah, because you get Watcher, right?
that's
You get
like
Watcher.
2 gold for streak plus like 9 stacks of Conqueror stacks. Like seems like that would have been the right move. I mean, I know that's hindsight is 2020, but
Oh yeah, for this matchup for sure. If you knew for sure like this person and another person are level diff, then I think it could be. It's more than likely correct.
Wouldn't it also be a position diff? I mean, she got sniped by Maddie, no?
Does it die?
yeah, it was one
I'm
shot.
pretty sure it dies.
This is the full HP. I feel like it's possible. I feel like it's a little unlikely. Like if you get one more full Zyracast, do we even kill this? Maybe, but yeah. Maybe. I think it could be Swain diff, but as Rain already pointed out herself, that would have been stronger. Okay, thoughts on these options?
I mean, Mana Flow is like really good in Sorks, right? It's one of the
Yeah.
best.
Thinking like
Kingslayer is
roll 1-3.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. They're buffing this next patch. At this point, I feel like Kingslayer is quite nice when you're like kind of open-ish stage 2 into planning to spike on 3-2. You make a lot of your gold back. Obviously, this is not the spot for it. Just kind of calling it out. They buff it to give you 6 gold on Kingslay. Dumbify usually is a lot better when you have like there are 2 factors here. One is you have econ through portal through augment. Obviously, having units on bench with Dumbify, I'm inclined to say that having units on bench is not as important because it only factors in their HP. Whereas with Golemify, I feel like units on bench actually affects the strength of the golem by quite a bit more because it affects the AD of the golem. But typically, you want some econ and then or rolls and a scaling item also makes this a lot more appealing, like a Rage Blade or an Archangels.
Yeah.
Marcel,
yeah,
to your point earlier at Rain's 2-1 augment selection, like I can't even think of a better augment than Mana Flow here. And so is there a scenario where you click without rolling left and right so that you can preserve better silver? Or I guess it's guaranteed not silver for the last one, but in the scenario where it is possible for you to get the same tier augment later, do you intentionally not roll the other ones? Like I've never thought about that concept before.
Yeah. Do we not? We'd have to look through the whole list of silver, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is there a silver that we're happier with than Mana? Given the current board we're playing, probably not. But like for example, like I'm pretty sure Mana Flow is one of the best options here, if not the best. I'm trying to think of other broken options here. Like Diversified Portfolio Plus is bugged, and so is very strong. But I don't think we play it here because we're likely 4 Kong, which will make us a lot of gold.
I think learning to see is asking in general, but I mean, to that point, like I started getting the habit of like not rolling with like, for example, powered shields on 3-2 playing scrap. But then I heard Dish Soap say that like the way he thinks about it is that the odds of you seeing an augment you don't want is higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And so
when
you
you
get to
roll,
filter
so
it out.
therefore you'd rather
Yeah.
like delete them so you have a higher chance to get like the one you want. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know how
exactly.
that mathematics
I'm
out,
pretty sure that logic is the last time I tried to do the math on it. I think that logic holds up better, and that you're more than likely to help yourself than hurt yourself. It just feels bad when you see what you want on 4-2, but more than likely you're gonna see stuff. There are way more bad options for your comp usually than good ones. So you're more than likely to see those, which means you're more likely to filter out trash, right? Which helps you for your next augment choice.
So then how do we explain Raiden's decision on 2-1 to not roll left?
Maybe we just assume she was checked out. She's like, one month, whatever, man. I'm on to the next day. I'm not sure. I mean, to be fair, like Taylor's Crafts is so obviously best there, but yeah, it's interesting. Do we ever consider rigged shops here? Surely no, but like rigged shops is so good in Sorks. I think if you had like 2 Swains and a Nami, you could consider it, but probably not. Especially because it's kind of scary to take this when you're 3-way contested. Because You can still miss the Swain 3, Nami 3. It's so many rolls. And Swain 3 is pretty fucking good. Looks like she's actually thinking a lot through this. She's talking. Let's try to get her audio in here in case she is insightful with this.
I believe flow is better. Big shot is fine. So is the other thing. Oh wait, honestly, I'm pretty sure I could take anything here.
Pretty sure I can take anything
I
here.
think mana flow is slightly better though.
I'm surprised that she considers Dumbify as an option. I feel like Dumbify is hard to take here, but
I don't have a bruiser. These units are actually upgraded. The backline units are upgraded specifically.
also with Stoneblade, I feel like Dumbify is less.
If it's Dumbify, I'm just pivoting. I think of Dumbify as a good way to get out of Sworks. You can actually watch that exactly in like. So I think a good game where I take like Dumbify Golemify and pivot out of like a heavily contested line is actually like game 1 of day 3. I don't know if you want to watch more of VODs. Like I think it's good to like spread around like what you watch, but if someone else wants to watch, I guess or maybe like I'll see if I can water it later myself. But like game 1 of day 3 is one example of where I take Dumbify and just pivot off of a contested line, and it's okay to play like less S tier bumps. Like even with Stoneplate, like I'm okay with losing Stoneplate because I have table scraps. Like it's fine. I just like because I think I can win as long as I can hit my board.
Gotcha. I like that. I think there's another game 1 that I saw of you doing Dumbify into like I think a bronze for life. I don't know if that's the same game you're talking about. Like a trade.
Yeah, that's the game I'm talking about. Like the game where
okay.
like I pivot off of a contested line to like play something that's like not an S tier comp, but like that I think can win the game because I have the conditions for it. Like I think
I
that
really
game
like
I
that
play
one.
too.
I think you had trade sector, which made it a little easier to take in that spot. But I did. Yeah, I like just the logic that you have where, yeah, you allow yourself to just have conditions to play. Even most other lines that are not S tier just because you have this fat ass dummy golem in the front now.
And you value the Dumbify more if you feel like you're contested, I guess, right now.
Oh yes, because now you're not forced to hit very particular things, right? Like when you have this golem, now your board is like gonna be strong with like a B tier line, and so you're no longer forced to play the lottery with 3 other players. That's sort of the logic, right? Like if you don't have this golem, you should be playing an S tier comp, right? In general. And if 2 other people play an S tier comp, well, whatever, man. You still have to play the same S tier comp because you have to. That's how your board is set up. But the moment you have this really strong unit on your board, which is the golem or the dummy, now you sort of are more relaxed in the comp selection. You don't have to play an S tier comp anymore, and so now you can opt into like an uncontested line. It's sort of the thinking, right? I've done that as well with like, you can play any like backline scaling comp with these dummies. Like I think I had it starts to enable things like 6 sniper if you have a sniper emblem because you can afford to play all backline units. Silco is like a little more playable when you have a dummy or golem, things like that, right?
Technically have econ, but like it's not that much econ. I don't like it.
I assume this is Rain during the game saying this. I wasn't looking at it
specifically. I could like do this. I mean, like I technically have econ, but like it's not that much econ. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, she's talking through how like she technically has econ, which allows her to take Dumbify in that sense, but
like that much. I play Force Work this stage though.
and then we have 4 Sork, but this allows us to sprint towards the next cash out, right?
Times. No.
Tourism is so strong, so many upgrades.
I mean, like I feel like I've just been getting scammed by like matchmaking cloak.
Okay. Not much to consider here. Looks like scrap, Sork slash Academy, maybe, probably Sorks. Yeah, I feel like Swain frontline would have saved us a lot of HP. I mean, yeah, as Rain has already said. Yeah, versus if we hit the Darius too, then definitely Darius is better in that sense. So it saves us a remover in that sense. But did we already see what component we're going for? Okay. Could we take spat here? Probably not, right? So likely sword Shojin is like, I assume this is highest prio here. Sword's not that hard to kill in Sorks, GS, Gunblade, but I feel like Shojin multiplies your items by a lot here. Because I mean, you do have mana flow, but you don't use low on Shojin. And tier is such a good component. Spat is really good though in this line as well, right? Black +1 Black Rose, or if you get a the thing is Rod, if you're trying to take spat, it means you're trying to get a rod, but because you have cloak, it kind of wants to be spark, right? Because it doesn't have to be, but it kind of wants to be. And so spat can kind of delay our next slam as well in that sense. If you don't get tier, there is a Swain, right? I don't know if double stone plate is very good though. Swain. But then again, we're getting another component, right? Which is a belt here. I mean, with some odds, there's a belt here if we're looking at one cost. So yeah, I feel like thoughts are probably like tier. Spat is interesting. Swain is interesting. These are probably like what I'd be thinking of here on this carousel.
I thought spat was bad in this comp, but yeah.
So I'm chatting with many, not many, but like some top players. A lot of them don't think that the stats on getting an extra Sork are real.
I mean, it's good if you can make it to 9, right?
The explanation
I mean,
for that.
really,
What's up? What's up?
sorry. No, I was saying like it's really, really good if you can make it to 9, right? Because then you can fit the 6
Not
swords.
even, not even. The one argument given was that you go on 4 emissary, you can go 6 Sork on 8. You just don't play
Oh, you drop at least.
You don't play at least. That's one argument, right? Yeah, it probably is like the thought in that sense would probably be, if I were to, the player I was chatting with about this is probably more of an arrogance of like, oh, top player, a really, really top player would know how to play Sork better, and that's why the stats don't reflect that. Is my guess on why this player is making that claim. I'm not sure though. I would tend to believe that from seeing a lot of these spat Sork lines do well. I feel like spat is better than the stats make it out to be. Not sure what other people's thoughts are on that, but
I think spat's very good.
What's
if you can get it, I think spat's very good if you can take it without losing an object for it. Like I think spat from calling card and spat from pan are like very good, but I don't really like spat in general unless it like gets you 6 to work on 3-2.
Gotcha. So just not at the opportunity cost of an augment. Basically, it's like the power it gives you is less than what like a gold augment, and I think that sounds correct to me. Off of a carousel in her situation is probably like quite good, right? Because she's getting 2 each. Like the cost of losing 1 caro unit item combo is so low for her because she has she's getting 1 more each caro. So maybe in that sense you can just take it. It's also a 4 cost. She didn't get the tier. Rod is just spark. Yeah. And we get sword. Does this mean we slam gun? No, surely we just slam spark still, right? And then you just figure out the sword situation later. Like it's not too bad. So we finally give up on Darius pair. He had his chance. Hard to say if this. I don't think this is bad in this scenario. 25 gold. She's at 30, so she's gonna get 5 more gold next turn. I feel like it's like an okay outcome for the spot. Yeah, I assume the gunblade slam here is just better for, as you were saying, it's just better for item economy in that sense. You get to kill one of the swords. You already have mana flow, so it's not like this item combo is that awful. You can still make Shojin.
I don't think you want to make Shojin.
Just in general, or
Not
like
with
when
mana
you have
flow.
mana flow?
Certainly not with mana flow. You already have 80% of a Shojin.
Gotcha. So you're more than happy, or you're happier even not having it. I see.
I'd prefer to not have Shojin if I could choose.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I in the past would just default to like augment like stat of with mana flow, then check items split by holder. But yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
And if we don't want Shojin, we definitely want to kill the sword, so that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, so I assume this Darius Draven is not strongest board, but if it allows us to like get further cash outs, then because like Alawi plus something else could be better, another Zyra. But I mean, this guy's a Rumble. I feel like I assume the scout was like, oh, we probably gonna have a hard time winning anyway? Question mark. So we just go for conk stacks. Maybe. Yeah. Rumble on 7. I don't know how down Rain is to play like the Irelia variation of this front line. Irelia Ilawi. I feel like I don't like that variation as much. I've seen people go for it, but it feels like the worst of most of these sort frontline variations. But given she just open sold Ilawi, I guess she's not down. It's the Ilawi Irelia Zoe one, right?
Or I've
I did
even
not play
seen, like,
Sork as much nor as well as she did and many other players, so I'll learn from how she angles it here. And it's still going to be somewhat alive next patch, I assume. It's hard to say.
I've seen people play Ilawi set Elise as well. In some cases, when that's what you had.
Ilawi set. Yeah. That's another good one as well. These components are pretty poopy.
The refractor is actually
Low.
kind of a death sentence. It's
What's that?
completely fine if they got Shiv off first carousel, but the refractor is actually kind of a death sentence here. There's like no
Refractor,
good items in the sword.
Yeah. You're not happy.
There's like no good Sork items aside from Shiv. I mean, like next is like Guardbreaker, I think, then Red Buff, and Gunblade or
You're
something.
praying for it out of here, but yeah, Shiv is easily the best one. Yeah, so we just roll for with these items. I don't know, with no belts, I don't know if Rain is now like, oh, Garen is a lot less desirable. I assume you still click on him. You have 0 belt items, but or is it that we're much happier playing with the Swain Elise variant? But then again, I feel like the Swain Elise variant is more dependent on like having you're more LeBlanc hungry and you really want Elise too. So I mean, I assume
You should probably click Garen here. I think I slightly underplay Garen. Like and I should play it a bit more than I do, but I definitely don't really want to play Garen with my current items.
Yeah. Makes sense. I think Rain tends to still click.
I do think I slightly underplay Garen. Like the emissary version, I think I should in general be playing more. But also, that's not even true next patch because they've nerfed backline swing, which is the whole reason you played Garen. But like whatever.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think more than most players, Rain does a good job of like trying to stabilize off of at least better. At least I can speak for myself. Like I probably wouldn't have even like held the echoes to begin with in my roll down. So if you don't tend to do this, I feel like this style of like on roll down for me is hard. But I mean, if you're inclined to go for this,
I'm thinking about the scrap pivots. You'll notice I actually have the full scrap for on a bench.
Yeah, as soon as you on Rumble, then it's more interesting, especially because you're 3-weight, right? Like I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Even with
it definitely makes me fuck up the roll down a bit, and I probably should have just sold okay. You notice how like I made a little clump of units on the left side on neutrals. Like that's part of the reason I leveled there. Like and made a board. Like it's to make it easier to sell when transitioning. It's like part of the things I do to like make my own transitions easier. But like I don't actually sell it, which is like just a mistake. Like the Draven
really good call out.
Draven Darius, whatever. Like I actually specifically made like a mini clump over there so that I could transition better.
Yeah. It's just there's so many things to do in a turn. Operations order, like doing this makes it a lot easier. Setsuko, I noticed Setsuko doing this when I was trying to improve my fortune roll down. So it's like from set 11 as far as back, and a lot of players have done it even before that. But it's super useful to do that just to make it easier on yourself. I think she just didn't get to sell these.
But no,
first.
I got way too lost on this roll down. Like I didn't really hit the Sork units, and I was hitting like Echo 2 plus Rumble, and I was like, can I pivot scrap? But then I looked at the sidebar, and you notice that like the scrap units are also all getting 2 stars. So I'm like, oh fuck! If I pivot commit scrap, I probably can't also can't hit Corki 2. So I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
So I was a little
you
pissed.
hit this and yeah. So you're not gonna hit this anyway. Yeah, it's kind of it's a hard
I,
spot.
I don't think I should be going for scrap here. Like I think that's a mistake. And then I fuck up my roll down, and I don't like hold like the Nami, for example.
Oh, you also missed a Zoe, I think. Although I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So I
No,
guess.
I was actually thinking scrap at this point, but like I shouldn't be thinking scrap. Like this is just wrong.
Oh, yeah. This is hard. I think if you had sold these 3 units, you wouldn't make. You'd be a lot less likely to make the error of not holding Trist, Powder, Zoe. But I mean, as you had already said, yeah, just these are 3
but,
slots that you need.
This is the like most lost on a roll down I've been, because like usually I let like my first 20 gold help me decide my direction, and I rolled 20 gold, and you'll notice the upgrades I found were exactly. I found Echo 2, Rumble, Corki, and then I didn't actually find any of the Sork units. Like in my first 20 gold, I didn't find any Zoes or Elises or Namis.
Brains.
Which like makes like if I'd held them earlier, I would have kept holding them. But like it was just so weird to go like 20 gold into my roll down and just not see any Sork units. And then that leads me to like not hold them later on, which is just also a mistake. But like whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is like in trying to play optimally and holding all your outs, you start to clog up your bench space. And so, I mean, I'm pretty sure optimally, no, I know for a fact, optimally you hold everything. But I tried to play more simply, which definitely holds back my cap in that sense. But I wouldn't have held the scrap units. I'd be less likely to not hold particular Sork units. But it just depends
no, I think holding the scrap units in regular roll down is fine. I think once I saw the mana flow, so with either mana flow or refactor, like if you only have one of them, you could still do it. You could still sack an augment or like a thingy. But I think once I have mana flow and refactor, I should never hold this Corki. I should just stop thinking about like I'm my roll down's also getting slowed because I'm like thinking about like, okay, I need to buy stuff like Trundle as well if I want to make a scrap pivot. But like since I have refactor and I have mana flow, I don't think I should actually be looking for the scrap pivot. Like I think it's fine to do scrap from like suboptimal items. I think it's fine to do like a lot of lines from suboptimal whatever. Like you can like waste an augment if you really need to, but I think I waste too much playing scrap, even though I have the full scrap board and like none of the Sork board. So I shouldn't commit scrap here. I should never like. I think buying the Echo 2 and the Rumble is fine, and aside from those, like I shouldn't buy any of these units.
Yeah, so you're just like stabilizing off of some upgrades, but not like the full comp. That I can see that for sure. So it's not wrong to buy this. It's never really wrong to.
Specifically, one of the reasons I buy Echo here is because I think I need to make BT to not lose the game.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure for your item economy. I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, we end up missing the Nami here. I mean, these are all like just your bench is so clogged, it's so hard, right? I think a lot of us have been in this spot where like you're just starving for bench space and.
Oh my god.
No, so this is actually when I like part of the reasons I skipped the Nami was from that point I thought I was just playing scrap, and then I see the Blanc and I'm like, oh, I'm actually playing Sorks, not scrap. Because like okay, like if you actually look at the scrap spot, like imagine I don't have big mana flow, like the scrap spot is still reasonable. Like I can just take like a last whisper if you have my items. So like yes, I waste one item, I waste the gargoyles. Like aside from the gargoyles, like some items are pretty reasonable, and I have a plus like component thing. Like I don't think gargoyles is that unplayable in scrap. You can just put it on like a Vi and outside her, and it's like it'll do something.
Yeah.
But like because I can't waste gargoyles plus refactor, which is just kind of bad in scrap, plus mana flow, like I shouldn't hold the scrap. The reason I skipped the Nami Zoe 1 earlier was because like I had so much of the scrap board upgraded, I just wanted to play it. But like I like even though I hit so much of the scrap board, like there's only so much you can and should flex. And I should flex the front line, I should not flex the like that back line. Like that back line cannot be flexed because of my situation.
Of the lobby having a lot of them already.
The lobby,
other stuff as well. Like
the lobby has a lot of them already, and like my augment / the refactor itself being bad in scrap mean that unless I hit immediately, it's just not something I should angle.
Makes sense. So I guess optimally we would have that like in our mind already going into the roll down, where like it's like, okay, I'm down to stabilize off of. It's just hard because she had only.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't expect to hit Echo at all because scrap was also 2-way contested. So if anything, I was like I wasn't really planning on playing around Echo.
Yeah, it's only as you started rolling that it entered your mind.
It's just like kept rolling, and I kept not finding Sork units. I was like, oh god, like do I have to like flex here? And then I was like, okay, and then because I found Echo 2,
We also have
Because
like,
like I see this shop and then I keep buying the emissary units and I see Rumble and I'm like, okay, like I still haven't seen any Sork units. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, I guess I'm scrapped then because like I like where the fuck are my Sork units?
yeah, there's a lot going on. Then you see Corky 2 popping up on the right, and then you have to factor in your augments for like, is trap pivot really viable? So it's hard to like optimize this round for sure.
Like if I had seen LeBlanc by this point, or like now I see Corky and I'm like, okay, I guess I am just scrapped. So by this point I've actually decommitted out of Sorks. But like
That's why
I shouldn't decommit out of Sorks, but by this point, like the reason I don't pick up the Zoe, it's not that like I miss her in my shop. It's that I'm actually straight up not thinking about Sorks anymore.
Yeah, no,
which is not correct, but like I'm trying to give like a running commentary. Like
yeah, I can see why you
I
do
think,
it in that sense.
I think you can make this pivot if scrap was not A, contested, and B, I didn't have to throw away so many of my augments / like my prismatic orb.
Yeah, and there's another call out again. We likely hold this if we had sold the extra Vlad. I assume is it a planner? It's probably just like blinking shop thing where we just forget that we have upgraded Vlad already. They really,
Oh yeah,
really,
my positions are pretty good, but I'm pretty bad at like not buying extra units. Like
yeah,
that part I'm actually pretty bad at.
I've seen people mid roll down open up their planner and take it out, but I don't even know if that's like in terms of wasting time. That could also be hurtful in that sense. So
So I don't get it fully off, but like you do see how like having that clump on the left edge like helped me just get some units in.
Yeah.
I can like sell part of it. It's like, and like my transition is fucking terrible, but even still, because like I put an Echo 2 on my board, and I put like strong units in, like I've managed to win just because like I had like some good habits. Not the transition was not very good either.
This person
But,
sent it. Yeah, this is the first thing I looked at. Is like this person is not like a sacker. This person is 0 gold.
Yeah.
We
We both sent it. We both fucked up our transitions, but like I fucked it up like slightly less, which is good enough.
Yeah, exactly. They have LeBlanc on bench. They don't have a 4-cost upgrade. We made the Echo with made 2 items on it, and that's why we won the round. Yeah, this is super not uncommon, right? To like to see really, really top players like feel like they messed up a 4-1 roll down. It's a matter of who messes it up less and who didn't fuck up their direction the most. Especially when you're given a prismatic orb. That's when it's most like she doesn't even get to pull off the radiant item. I don't know if the opponent did either. I don't even they got a support item, I think. Or it's unclear. I don't know what their prismatic orb was. Okay. So what are we looking for in this spot? I guess you probably always roll right here. We're 10 gold. We have some upgrades. Not sure how to decide between these two. The more scrappy we are, the more Sork it's this. It's definitely
no. I've decommitted from scrap by this point. You notice like as the round's going on, I'm thinking through my line. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't actually play scrap. Like I'm too down on like scrap tempo. So I sell my scrap.
You give up. That's why you sell the scrap units. So then it's just glass cannon. I forget if we already have shred. I don't think we do.
We don't. So but I still don't think I should take right.
Oh really? Why is that?
Yes. I think this is the single best comp for glass cannon. There is no comparable comp.
Backliners, and you multiply everything.
Yeah, and also like I already have mana flow. Like I kind of want to backline them anyways. Like this is the single best comp for glass cannon because it's actually incredibly hard to scale Sorks with anything that's not glass cannon and spell crit. And piercing lotus, like the gold one only getting 5% crit chance is just like not a lot of spell crit, honestly. So it's like okay, I could take piercing lotus here, but I just think glass cannon is broken. Even when you already have a damage jump item, like this is still 20% increased damage overall if you do the math. Like nothing really comes comparable. I also have a gunblade already, so like it doesn't really hurt my survivability much at all. In fact, it doesn't hurt it at all. I just can't think of a reason not to take it. Like if I had like 5 guard breakers maybe, and I do have 2 guard breakers, and like piercing lotus is quite decent here, but I think I can make a shred component anyways.
I think if you were not half cloak, I would be a little more suspicious of this. But because we are likely to get to shred at some point, then I feel like I can see the reasoning for this.
I think I might fuck up this game and not make shred. Like when I have the opportunity. Like that's kind of what I meant by like this game was all kinds of fucked. But but I think it's correct to take Glass Cannon, even if I don't necessarily act on it correctly.
Gotcha.
Okay, also, this game, I got so dizzy. Like, what is going
Yeah, I mean,
on?
this is what you allow yourself to fall into when you're not just like ignoring units for a line, right? Like because I'm super sorky, so I am not going to buy, my echoes. Surely you buy rumbles if you're committed to, but some players will just skip. I've been in spots like that where I will skip 5 costs that are good just because they don't really fit my line. But I mean, now you allow yourself to have some types of. It's hard to say if this is like a true
Also,
bailout.
don't worry. The rest of this stage actually gets worse, not better from here.
It's
This
I
is this
really
is this is
overluxed for sure here. No,
What's up?
yeah.
I
I mean,
really
like,
overluxed here for sure.
I'm playing 5 Zork for fun.
Yeah, something over
I'm pretty sure
another
my
LeBlanc
movement is not
over
correct.
Lux, and then also remover the. But I mean, yeah, this is like just another example of like a lot of top players, myself included, like I make so many mistakes.
Oh, that part I wasn't actually sure that Rumble was better than Echo. I mean, I should have done it because Echo doesn't have Ambusher, but with Ambusher, I kind of think Echo is better than Rumble.
Oh, I meant remover off the 1-star Swain.
Wait, do I have removers to do that? Do I have? I need 3 minimum removers to do that. Okay.
We have 3. Yeah, just because we
Okay,
have
I did do it then.
just to like
Okay.
move this and then some anywhere and then like on the Rumble or anything and then
Sure, yeah.
and it's scrap as well. But yeah. I mean, but to my point, it's just there's a lot going on. We're playing a non-standard board, so a lot of your mental bandwidth is going elsewhere.
Marcel, do you like double LeBlanc here more than Sentinel?
More than
With the
Sentinel.
Even with like Rumble too. And I guess he has no ice.
I could double LeBlanc is double 4 circle LeBlanc is so good. I could otherwise
Even
it's an
without light
Aurelia. I'm not sure actually. Not sure. I feel like we don't have that much. Yeah, I'm not sure.
You
I
have
could see
mana
the
flow
argument.
and glass cannon, so it's not like she's doing nothing without items.
Yeah, and LeBlanc
I
always
mean,
does stuff even without items.
I can see
Yeah.
LeBlanc as well.
I feel like we have enough frontline. It looks like either way we're beating people at the current board we have with the Lux on the board. We're still winning rounds. Oh, sorry, did she send 0 here just to find the? Was she still rolling, or was it just a natural Swain? Oh, yeah, she's just rolling each turn. I see.
I actually really wanted to find Nami. Like, really wanted to find Nami.
Yeah, to get the 6 Sork, that makes sense. Slash just a better Sork. So she has multiple hits in that sense, right? The Swain, the.
I mean, it's Nami or the other thing, but like really, I would highly prefer Nami here.
Yeah.
Are you just letting the Mordekaiser go at this point? Because like ideally the BT eventually gets on Mordekaiser, right? If you could actually
No.
that.
Ideally, this Mordekaiser unit never holds BT.
Yeah, BT's not even that good on Mord. He already has built-in Omnivamp.
It's a pretty bad item on him.
Okay.
Yeah, Edge of Night, QSS, or like Nasher. It's like kind of just those.
Ideally, I hit Calling Card and I put it on Rumble. Ideally.
Mm-hmm. What component are we going for here? So we're something complete Swain item. You can probably not too unhappy just scrapping this for a lot of the game. So Shred, right? Spark. Probably best here. Did we already pick? Wait, yeah.
Yeah, it's by the way, it's for sure Spark. I don't think I took Spark. Or I don't think I made Spark for some reason.
Gotcha.
I thought I already had. I think I thought I already had the anti-MR.
Gotcha. Is it? I wonder if we even are able to play 6 Sork here. Probably not, right? It's hard to. How do we fit 6 Sork here? We can't, right?
But you could. You can drop Elise. Oh god, I think this turn goes pear
I feel like
shaped. So
the Scion is kind of nice for the front line, but yeah. Oh, I guess over Irelia would have been Lux over Irelia.
yeah, I actually sold Lux because I was like, oh, I hit my like. Yeah, this is why like you don't play the comp too much sometimes because I had the instincts of like I hit my LeBlanc, I don't need Lux anymore, but like I'm in the unusual spot where I don't actually have Nami.
No, no, Nami. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. You saw the Lux because
I'm in the very
the
unusual spot where
autopilot thing you do,
not
right?
having Nami, which
Yeah.
like has not actually happened to
When
me.
does that ever? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see. I can see why that would happen then.
Also, by the way, I actually hate this Rumble guy. Like you'll notice he does the same damage as LeBlanc with an anti-heal item and Gunblade. In fact, my LeBlanc has 1 damage item. I don't. My Rumble doesn't have the best items, but like, yeah, I hate that guy.
They nerfed him as well. They nerfed the block, but they also nerfed Rumble.
I fucking hate this Rumble guy, but like, whatever.
They notice how we like in Rain's own words messed up her transition in 4-1, but we've won 3 rounds. Because I think a lot of that is how widely she had rolled. I mean, they did Rumble 2s that helped if we had LeBlanc, but still, I feel like making the Echo 2, I don't know, like I feel like rolling widely helped us in that sense.
And she has amazing augments.
I mean, like, so just imagine like if I'd hit like regularly, like I think like from like I think I had 80 gold. Like imagine I hit like Zoe 2 instead, and then like Zoe 2, Elise 2, Swain 2. Then I think I'm also like stable. But like rolling widely lets you have like more outs than this. Obviously the Rumble 2 is a high roll, but like I do think the Echo 2 was like a fair substitute as well, even without like Rumble 2.
Yeah.
The LeBlanc for sure is a high roll, but like I think having 6 Sork Zoe 2 is actually slightly stronger than LeBlanc 1 5 Sork. So I mean the point is like you could have gone to a stronger board than mine. Yeah.
I've heard this one's bugged where you lose AS when units die.
What?
Oh,
Is
you
that
didn't know that?
actually a bug?
You didn't know. I think I saw that in the
What?
lobby. I'm surprised you didn't know that. But I've heard this one is
I
bugged.
don't think that I don't think that the thing's in lobby too.
Oh, I don't even know where I saw that anymore. But I've heard this is bugged where as units die, you lose the AS that you get from each unit with components.
What?
Maybe it's less important than this spot, but that's what I haven't checked it. I haven't taken it since I've heard that. I've heard multiple people
What?
confirm that. I think it's because I've been since like last set. I've been more in the loop because of Demacian Raptor. This guy is down to like about every bug that he sees, and I ask him, and I generally trust that he's in the loop in that sense. But yeah, and you would think that AS is really good on LeBlanc, so that's why we just and we're poor as hell, right? You can't really like.
Oh, okay, I guess I'm FFing then. Like I mean I wouldn't have taken it if I knew it didn't work. Wait, are you sure? Like
I've heard multiple people say this. Yeah, I mean, and I'm down to try to test it out in a scrim. Maybe they shadow fixed it next patch, but I've heard multiple people say it already in a very like sure way. So we're trying to opposite side the Vi, I assume, is like really important here, right? You don't randomly want this Vi to, although aggro, because it's only 2 items, you could maybe just kill it, but it has a locket, right? So it's kind of hard to kill. And then the other consideration here is we don't want to clump for TF and Caitlyn, which we're not. Yeah, like it's not, you're not very happy getting stuck on this Alawi, but I think it's just order of priorities here in terms of going right side, I assume. Items here. I would think Spark frontline item. Could also be, yeah, probably just 3 items Swain, right? It has to be. So Spark Redemption is probably not awful. Like you can move the Shojin off this eventually, but not this turn. This turn Prio is 3-item Swain. Spark Redemption or Spark? It would be Adaptive is the other option. I assume it's Redemption just because you already have Resistance.
Redemption open tier on Elise.
I like that. Yeah. Open tier is very, very valuable.
That's probably correct. Yeah, that's not what I do, but that's probably correct.
So she goes for 3-item Rumble here, I assume.
Another card breaker or
Hodge or Guard. Yes, I'd hire Prio on 3-item Swain and just leave the Shojin and Rumble, but I guess here we have a better 3-item Rumble, right? In the way she did it. Because Shojin is basically dead right, on Rumble because we already have mana flow in it. Well, maybe not that dead because you're backlining it, but you're not happy with Shojin on Rumble. And double healing Rumble is not even bad because it's glass cannon, right? Anything to say? The big tank buster there is just what was the other one? I kind of glossed over that. Yeah, this one's always like last priority. I don't think there's much to do with the board here. Yeah, we just sit here and play this board. Anything else you want to really cover in this game? So I assume the rest of this game now is just gonna be positioning, which maybe is a little less interesting to do. I have about 20 more minutes to say in this session, but let's see. I guess we can look at item. Twain item. Black Rose is hard to fit. I would be thinking Crown Guard or Warmog Swain here. 4 Black Rose is pretty good as well. Let's see. 4 Black Rose adds how much? It's usually like 1k HP to Scion, I think. Whereas these are adding about 800 HP to your board on Swain with Warmogs. This also gives you Black Rose effect of like amping your damage off of LeBlanc, who's your main DPS unit. So maybe Black Rose is better here. Yeah, I'm not sure. 5 cost Crown Guard or Warmogs or Black Rose. Probably 5 cost Crown Guard now. Our next best in is what here? Bruiser or another LeBlanc, Bruiser, or another Black Rose? I'm actually not sure if another LeBlanc is better than 4 Black Rose. Oh, Sentinel. My bad. I forgot about Sentinel. Just to help it cast, I guess. Extra spark. Some base HP.
Okay, by the way, if you can figure out how I lose this fight, let me know. Because I'm very confused. I mean, I also make the wrong cells. I should sell Zoe there, but whatever.
Would putting Rumble frontline, because he has double healing, is it really worth putting him backline for this stuff, the augment value, versus like him taking damage and gaining mana and healing up?
I feel like this is a lot of augment value, right? Mana flow and Glass Cannon. I'm inclined to think you don't value initial mana compared to these two things.
Does your Elise cast? I assume so.
I think it's up. It's just having all these 1-stars and some fight RNG is my best guess. But like I think a lot of it is that I think a lot, I've seen a lot of Sork boards be a lot weaker than they actually look when you have a lot of these 1-starred. This, and this. So you can look at the damage chart after. But I assume they just get AoE down, like all the shitters. Not really. A lot of his board's still alive. Her board's still alive. And this Alawi is insane, but it's still very surprising, right? Like the augment setup is kind of bad. Literally just silver bulky buddies as their combat.
Did anybody notice if Elise casted? That would have for sure been fight div.
Did it? Elise is getting aggroed
It
by
didn't look like she
Ezreal.
casted.
It didn't. It didn't
Okay.
cast. Yeah,
So
that
that
would
would
have
have.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second row
Definitely
Elise.
The second row Elise cast.
Whatever.
I don't know. Second row Elise cast.
Like 15 seconds of the fight. Like it's whatever. If your Elise dies, it dies. Like unfortunate.
I don't think second row Elise actually helps.
Sometimes Elise is just the bot.
Yeah, it's hard to get at least a cast without a tier and without bruiser. Second row just makes it so you don't get mana from getting aggro. It makes your cast come so late. I don't really like second row stun units like that. But yeah, if you look at the damage chart, for example, this person has 5 units doing over 2k damage. We only have 3. Yeah, like we're effectively playing 3 on 6. Yeah, 3 on 5, 2 on 5. So like while we have some juicers, everything else is just there. Then again, there is fight RNG for sure, and yeah. So I assume this fight is a little closer than we would guess with Rumble to LeBlanc 2 just because of the 1-stars. Because so much of the power budget of this board is into like juicing up your whole board, and here our whole board is Zyra, Lux, all these 1-stars. That all that being said, you would still expect this board to win, right? Obviously.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and then I didn't go first. I guess it was Cyberspeed diff.
Mouse. Yeah, that's true. It can 100% also be Cyberspeed diff because you literally are down in half an anomaly by the end of the fight. Not even like more than half an anomaly. Yes, we're level 9, but our level 9 is a Mumu. I don't know. This person has pretty strong augment setup. I can't tell. I assume we'd lose this.
No, I think if you lose this, like it's illegal. I don't think his items are spread appropriately for me to lose. I don't think I can lose this without
horrible judgment on my end. But yeah, I guess we are the block 2 Rumble too.
Like it's actually like maybe fightable if the items are different. You can't have Archangels not on your main carry. Like you just can't.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah,
like
you'd have to have the Shojin here, then maybe there's a chance.
No, like or even Archangel's Malzahar, but like Malzahar has like infinite cast items, but he doesn't actually have like AP.
Yeah,
so he doesn't do damage.
I see what you mean.
Like in any scenario, like whether you move Shojin, GS, the other like Renata plus and then Arc Malz or the other way around, like I think you produce more outputs. But like
it didn't look like the fight was item diff, but I 100% see what you're saying, and that the item spread was not optimal there.
No, I don't think he could have won, but like I don't think that board ever can win.
Yeah. I guess we go for Zoe item here. Roll first for Zoe. Yeah. So Zoe item here. You could also move the guard if you wanted like another Rumble item. If Death Cap was your only option, you go guard here and Death Cap here. Something like that. I think Spark Rumble. Unless the argument is that Spark helps Elise cast, I would think with all these removers we go Spark Rumble, and 3 items are Spark, BT, Hodge, Rumble, and you just assume the stats on Spark for Rumble are like sort of an item, and then Guard Breaker, Zoe, and like Nasher, third item. Something like that. Shojin, Nasher, Guard, Zoe. She's going more off of matchup, I guess, here, and then move the guard onto. Oh, interesting. A little surprised by that. I guess it's to avoid the Vi CC. Oh, whoops.
I'm playing for top 1. 2 of my 3 matchups are 1 Vi and 2 is Experiment Warwick.
Gotcha. How many? This is your Rumble didn't get CC'd. I like that a lot. I if this is a QSS diff, then that's really good for sure. I'm surprised though that we went for guard on Rumble instead of the Hodge. I would have thought that we get a lot more value out of
You
it.
can debate whether it's wrong or not. I just
Close
think
enough.
that I don't know if my Rumble needs like 3 defensive items or 2.5 defensive items. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking more in terms of like the Zoe has so much in her, so much AP that like the guard just gets more mileage. But yeah, I can see it. So, like positioning considerations here, probably like want to avoid being in front of the turret. I'm not sure here. Same side Elise will be helpful to try to stun the clump. In terms of backline positioning, I guess LeBlanc being more left side like allows you to put some pressure on backline sooner. I would think the biggest thing is Elise being same side, but it looks like they're spreading their backline, right? So it's hard to even. Yeah, so she looks like she is trying to prio Elise. Did we get it off? And we got it off, yeah.
Okay, so can you give a prediction who wins this fight? That I have at least 2 Zoe 2. And I have Sentinel in. And last fight was extremely close.
Oh, I would think now it's.
Yeah, so I thought I 10-0 them.
I would
Like,
think
I
now
thought I
it's
15-0 them. Because since our last fight where it was like a 1 unit diff, I now have Zoe 2, Elise 2, another upgrade on Rumble, and Sentinel.
Oh, I assume you roll them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I CC their Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
And they don't have any combat augments.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if that didn't happen, but I mean, the way you're
Okay,
saying it.
okay. Well, I'm just confused how I lost. Because this was the moment I was down to go 1-1-1-1-1.
Boom. Elise cast. Rumble casted 1,000,000 times. Huh. You know what? I have a feeling literally any anomaly would make you win this. What is it? I don't know. I assume they have an Alawi anomaly. I'm pretty sure I'm almost certain it's anomaly diff. Like I think anomaly diff here is making it less obvious.
Okay,
it's making the board sync less obvious.
But the thing is, imagine I didn't have anomaly, I still think I would win this. Like, if I didn't have an anomaly, I'm still surprised I don't win this.
They're level 9.
Because the last fight was so close when I had full 1 stars. And at least didn't cast.
How did their board change? I forget how
they got an upgrade on Rumble.
And that's it. Yeah.
Well, I was very confused.
Okay, to be fair, our front line leaves a lot to be desired. I will say that. Like
Sure.
we have 2
I don't think my front line is perfect. I just thought I took 2.5 combat, and they took 0 combat.
Oh,
And
but
I
I
have
think
more
that's
units than them.
mitigated. That's the whole point of the anomaly. I feel like their anomaly, I assume they have a really good Ilaoi anomaly, such that the combat diff is actually not as big as we think.
It's like Fortify. Yeah, but like the thing is, my carries are Rumble 2 and LeBlanc 2, and their carries are
with radiant item. Yeah.
and their carries are Heimer 2 and Ezreal 2.
Well, I mean, LeBlanc wasted so many of her like empowered autos on the Jace Talus.
On the Jace, that's another big thing actually. Yeah. The Jace positioning actually can change a lot. The Jace turret.
It kept respawning, and like every time LeBlanc would cast, it would like spawn again. And
I
here
don't-
she like
I don't think she's autoing it at all.
She spent at least one empowered
She can auto it
There
once,
again.
but no, but she's not autoing it. But that's just
I
dying
counted like
slash
3 times in total. with
No,
big
she's not
damage.
autoing the turret. Like it doesn't re-aggro her. It doesn't
It's just
taunt.
the splash damage is killing it.
It literally just dies till LeBlanc ult splash, which is like best case scenario if anything.
Boom. So it's dead here to the splash. Let's see. Okay, no
Like,
autos on it yet. Dead to the splash again there, I think.
But where did the first LeBlanc auto go then? Because she has 3, right? And I only counted 2 going on Ilaoi.
Wait, all 3 are going on Ilaoi.
I thought they were all in Ilaoi, but
Like,
let's see.
so she wastes some autos here initially
The
killing the turret.
beginning,
That's
yeah.
true.
It's still like 1500 ability cast damage lost on the turret, right?
No, but that's fine. Like if they
Is there
middled
also-
their thing, it's like still the same thing.
Yeah,
Isn't this
exactly.
also going on the
Like-
turret?
This auto is not going on the turret. This auto is not going on the turret.
I think so. It looks like 550 is already done by the spell, right? To the turret.
Yeah,
I assume
the
that kills it.
turret is
she's mid auto animation. She's mid auto.
Oh, wait, here, right here.
No, look at the auto. It is not going through the turret.
Isn't this?
Wait,
isn't
is
this
this-
go there? This?
It looks like it's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
the turret.
seeing.
I think this
How's she
one.
retargeting? Wait, what's making her retarget? Wait, keep playing.
1, 2. Yeah, I think she did lose one there.
Wait, what? How?
No, again.
Yeah,
How
and then
can
did
she
it again,
retarget?
actually, yeah. She retargeted it both times for one of them powered autos.
Wait, what? How can LeBlanc retarget? But that time it looked like it was just hitting Lowy.
Yeah, I think that the second cast we lost one auto. I think so. Ultimately, we lost one.
But how?
I mean, I see it happening 2 times, but I mean, I'm like maybe I'm.
Well,
Yeah, how is she just randomly changing her targeting? She is though, right? She is.
Is she?
It looks like she did.
Can you put like 0.5 speed
Yeah.
for the second one? The second set of autos?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll pay more attention to my LeBlanc positioning, but I assumed she would just lock onto her primary target and start autoing it. You know, like a normal unit.
That first the first auto of second cast. So here we go.
And
Like
also
okay,
the
so
third cast.
first cast, whatever. Like that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
But once I lock onto
it's,
Alawi, I didn't think that Jace Crystal resummoning mattered at all. Because like you notice she's still autoing Alawi here,
But
and then she
now,
casts.
yeah, one went on the turret, and then
What the fuck?
saying the first
I
one.
think another one goes on the turret later, too.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
people saying that, and then here
No, I'm pretty sure that goes on Alawi.
that one did not look like it to me, but it looked like the second one for sure did.
Okay,
Which is fine.
as
But
far
like,
as I understand, as far as I understood for TFT, you can't actually retarget unless you get stunned.
but apparently
Oh.
LeBlanc won. LeBlanc can randomly just retarget. Maybe it must
Okay.
be. Yeah, I did not know that.
It's like the ult animation or like her ulting means that she also resets like her aggro.
I guess that's like a very special case that shouldn't happen. But yeah, I mean it's important to know now, right? I assume they didn't fix this, so like if you see an opponent LeBlanc, you put your turret in front of it. Actually, pretty useful. Okay. Trying to think of like, are there any overall takeaways? I think I have to peace out after this, but yeah. I don't know if there are any other thoughts. I guess just my overall takeaways from this were that the wide roll down on stage 4 helped us stabilize more than I would have personally. Let's see, is there any other? Yeah, probably my biggest takeaway from this game.
I like clumping the shitter units on 3-7 minion round before the roll down.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely is something. I've been trying to do that, but it definitely can help you be less like dizzy in your roll down. The other thing we had mentioned earlier is like rolling your augments to try to like filter out bad ones is like potentially something you could try to do. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll call it there. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, Marcel, man. This was
Thanks.
super helpful.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
for sure. I'm not sure when the next one I'll do is because I'll be kind of prepping for regionals, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we'll
understandable.
we'll mention in the chat if we do have another one of these. But yeah, all right, guys. Catch you all
Good
later.
luck
See
in
you
the
later.
regionals, man.
Later.
Thank you. Peace.